The latest producer price index is out and shows inflation at the wholesale level eased a bit last month.
The cost of goods and services up the supply chain from consumers declined to 2.6% on a yearly basis in August from the 3.3% recorded in July. The Bureau of Labor Statistics attributes much of the decline to a drop in the cost of machinery and equipment wholesaling. Tomorrow, the BLS releases the more closely watched Consumer Price Index for August.
ABC's Jim Ryan. NATO officials and allies call Russia's breach of Poland's airspace an escalation. Russian drones targeting Ukraine crossed into neighboring Poland last night, leading NATO to scramble jets to shoot the drones down. It comes as President Trump's efforts to get Russia's leader to agree to a ceasefire has stalled. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
All of this comes as the president's credibility is on the line here. There were some harsh words from the foreign minister of Poland saying the following, quote, Putin laughs at President Trump's peace efforts. Since Alaska, he has only intensified the war. I hope that he backs his words with action. Now, the foreign minister there referring to President Trump's summit with Putin in Alaska last month, which President Trump had billed as this summit for peace. But since then, Putin has only escalated the attacks on Ukraine.
In Nepal, at least 30 are dead from Monday's government crackdown on protests over social media bans and corruption. More than 1,000 others were injured. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry, Terry.
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
4:05 now on this Wednesday afternoon, and continuing our coverage of this afternoon's shooting at Utah Valley University. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, close ally of President Donald Trump and co-founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed this afternoon while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. Now, witnesses at the scene describe a chaotic moment just as the event was getting started.
Everyone got down. Everyone was so scared.
I heard a loud bang, which I figured a shot would be a little bit louder. Just one shot straight into Charlie Kirk.
Now, videos posted to social media from the university show Kirk speaking under a tent before a single shot rang out. The footage showed Kirk clutching his neck as blood gushed from the wound. Now, stunned spectators are heard screaming before running from the scene. Now, here's dispatch audio courtesy of Broadcastify right as authorities learned about the shooting.
Copy. How many injured do we have? Just one person.
Now, the mayor of Orem, David Young, said a suspect shooter has not been arrested yet. Now, a person was taken into custody immediately after the shooting. That was not the suspect. We'll have another update on this story coming up at the bottom of the hour. Meanwhile, a recent deadly crash in Sandy is highlighting a concerning trend in Utah. More than 30% increase in motorcycle deaths this year. Now, the rise in fatalities has some riders worried. Daniela Winters, a member of a women's motorcycle group, said she's still recovering from a July crash where she ruptured her spleen and broke several ribs. Now, she said the scariest moment was not knowing if she was going to make it home to her children. Lieutenant Cameron Roden with the Utah Highway Patrol said that keeping crashes down is a joint responsibility, and he's urging drivers to pay attention and double-check their blind spots. Roden also asked drivers to be more patient, especially at intersections during left turns. He said it's important to give motorcyclists the courtesy of waiting and being a little bit more patient. And Logan City officials are again warning drivers of a temporary traffic restriction along 4th North as a construction project started this morning. Now, westbound traffic along US 89 at the mouth of Logan Canyon is being restricted to one lane. The restriction is in effect through tomorrow. Now, the closures are affecting the stretch of road from the Logan Golf and Country Club to Champ Avenue. Now, during this time, access to 1350 East and 1200 East is closed. Officials noted, though, that motorists can still use Aggie Boulevard from 1500 East as a detour. And we'll have more on the shooting at Utah Valley University, of course, coming up. KVNU News Time is now 4:08, and weather-wise, going to continue to see sunny skies this afternoon as temperatures are staying in the mid-80s today. Tonight will drop into the low 50s. Start to see another chance of some scattered isolated showers, thunderstorms over tonight and into tomorrow, and then cooler temperatures coming for the rest of the week. And weather this hour brought to you by Roof Rescue, dedicated to keeping your home safe and dry from minor repairs to complete roof replacement. It's Roof Rescue. And I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU News headlines.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Daines at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology for an appointment and let them show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Keeping you informed. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, and online at 610kvnu.com.
Hola, Cache Valley. Are you ready for the biggest fiesta of the year? The Latino Festival is taking over Center Street in Logan on Saturday, September 13th, and you're invited. Come celebrate with live music, colorful performers, traditional dancing, a festive parade, and of course, delicious food. Bring the whole family and experience the sights, sounds, and flavors that make the Latino culture so rich and beautiful. This year's Latino Festival is made possible by Connect Public Transit, connecting you with the people and places that matter most. Find your route at rideconnectutah.gov. Presto Products now hiring. Apply for a career today at Presto Products in Lewiston. Also by Anderson Seed and Garden and Logan Extermination, keeping you green during the summer and in the holiday spirit during the winter. Mark your calendar Saturday, September 13th on Center Street in Logan for this year's Latino Festival, where culture and community come together.
Hi, it's Julie from the Visitors Bureau in Logan. Join the Cache Valley Historical Society this Saturday, September 13th for the annual Historic Home Tour. Enjoy the craftsmanship inside 6 beautifully preserved and restored homes in Logan and Wellsville. As a special bonus, the Federal Building at 160 North Main and the Cache Museum inside will also be open. Tickets are only $15 and you can buy them at the homes the day of. Details at explorelogan.com/homes. explorelogan.com/homes.
KVNU's For the People with Jason Williams and Bill Walter.
And it is Utah known as the fraud capital of the world. Not because we have more people committing fraud, but because we have so many people falling for it.
Going beneath the headlines and connecting you to the newsmakers.
The radio is a great way to get the word out to a lot of people in an emergency, so we thank you for your help and being a partner with us.
For the People on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, online at 610kvnu.com, and on the KVNU mobile app.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Wednesday, September 10th. I'm Jason Williams. 82 degrees here at the Radio Ranch at 4:11 in the afternoon. Coming up on the show today, we'll continue our spotlight on candidates. Micah Safsten will join us. That means we've gotten to everyone but Mark Hurd, and I'm still working with Mark on somehow making this happen, that we get to all 7. If you've missed any of these, of course, the interviews are available in the podcast feed, where you can listen directly at kvnutalk.com in the on-demand section there. If you're a delegate, you have a responsibility to be voting tomorrow night. So hopefully every county delegate is aware of this and getting to know the candidates. This, of course, a special election for county executive, and we'll talk more about that later on this hour. Starting out the show today with the news that first wrapped the state and now is national discussion at this point. But famous for political junkies, at least in conservative circles, firebrand activist Charlie Kirk, CEO and co-founder, of a group known as Turning Point USA, was shot and later it was confirmed killed today at Utah Valley University, the largest university, undergraduate enrollment-wise, largest university in the state. Kirk was also scheduled to later be speaking at Utah State University here in Cache Valley. The video going around, I'm not going to play this video for you. Videos posted to social media by those in attendance showed Kirk sitting beneath a tent for shade. This was part of the event, part of the tour that he was on. They would, after he spoke, or sometimes before, they would have these sort of informal outdoor events that they would often film, and clips would be put on social media later of Kirk debating people or discussing different issues with students at whatever university he was at. It was part of his brand. It was part of Kirk was a performer. He was this was a show that he did, but he was very famous in conservative circles right now. And videos posted online showed Kirk mid-sentence and the sound of a single gunshot. And he sort of slumps sideways out of his chair to the ground and does not get up. He's lifted and dragged out from underneath the protective sunshade, and at that point, chaos broke out at this event. Students running. Many of the videos show students in absolute panic over what, understandably was assumed to be an active shooter event. It was, but it was just one shot. And there was quite a bit of time that ensued between those videos online and any information whatsoever. For a good hour or so this afternoon, all we knew was that he'd been taken to a local hospital and that he was listed in critical condition. Soon after that, Brigham Tonko was where I saw it first. A reporter for the Deseret News tweeted out that House Speaker Mike Schultz was confirming that Kirk was deceased, that he had died from the gunshot wound. And where he was shot is also, at this point unconfirmed. Some reports say in the neck. Others say Fox 13, I think, was reporting that he was shot in the chest. A man was taken into custody, an older gentleman with, a ring of gray hair. If you see these photos and videos, a lot of people on social media were saying this is the shooter. It's since been confirmed that was not the shooter. In fact, that man was released by police, but was arrested, understanding at least what we're seeing so far as a potential suspect. What we know now is that a lot of campus has been evacuated, and those who haven't evacuated. Now, remember, this is a huge university. At last I checked, it was more than 40,000 enrolled undergraduate students. Just huge. So evacuations had taken place, but there were still a lot of students who, and still are, as I understand it, students who are sheltering in place in classrooms at UVU. And Utah Department of Public Safety confirmed to me earlier that law enforcement is going group by group and escorting the remaining students off campus. And they've also asked the media to move back a little bit. Some of the media had actually entered campus when it was reported that a suspect was in custody. But what we're hearing now is that they believe the shooter is at large. But they are investigating and clearing every single building on campus. So you can read these details of what took place today. The Kirk's death was confirmed for most people by the President Trump, on Truth Social. And in announcing Kirk's death, Trump wrote, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie." And that was, again, for many people, how they heard the news. But again, the first I saw actually was Deseret News reporter Brigham Tonko, who tweeted out that House Speaker Mike Schultz had confirmed to him that Charlie Kirk had died of his gunshot wound. This was, again, this played out very slowly today, and a lot of information was slow coming. In the midst of all this, now statements are out now from everyone in our federal delegation, in our state leadership, legislative leadership, and the governor. But this was the first that many people saw of anyone in elected office reacting to the news. And at this time, remember, when this interview took place, U.S. Senator John Curtis speaking to Heidi Hatch of KUTV News, he knew only what we knew, which at the time was that Kirk was listed in critical condition at a local hospital here in Utah, and that they believed the shooter was in custody. We now know that that is not the case, and that Kirk also has died. So this interview took place before that, but here is what John Curtis had to say. My understanding is he was scheduled to weigh in on something else with KUTV News here today, and agreed to do the interview anyway. When, of course, they shifted topics on him. Here's what Curtis had to say.
To the victim, that is just something that I can't quite comprehend. I think, to answer your question, for me, this is different because this is my backyard, right? We've seen these things happen around the country, and I always think, well, that will never happen to me. That will never happen in Utah. When it happens so close to home, I think it has an impact that couldn't happen any other way.
You are the former mayor of Provo. Like you said, Utah County is home to you. Utah Valley University, a growing university and the largest student body that we have here in the state of Utah right now. Charlie Kirk has had some people that have been saying that they didn't want him there, starting some petitions before he started these campus tours. But he goes to our campuses to have conversations with young people about politics, and they debate and have a conversation. Are you concerned that this is going to put a stop to conversations with our young people like this?
Listen, it has to impact it, but we can't let it, on the other hand. I'm not going to lie, this is going to go through my mind, right, when I'm doing public events. But I think we all have to push past that and realize that we are better than this, and we have to have these conversations. This was a very important political conversation for Utah Valley, and one that we need to have. And there are many more out there, conversations we need to have. We need to come to terms with our differences, but that we can't allow this to happen, and we can't allow this to stop us from having these conversations.
That was, again, United States Senator John Curtis speaking earlier today to Heidi Hatch of KUTV News. And again, at that time, Kirk's death had not been confirmed yet, and everyone believed that a suspect was in custody. But again, Orem officials are asking people to call them if they see anything suspicious or know anything. And the number they're giving out, Orem Police, 801-229-7070. And the search for the shooter is ongoing there in Orem after, again, news confirmed that conservative commentator Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during his appearance at Utah Valley University this afternoon. And the city, for those maybe hearing this or headed there or have relatives there, there is no citywide shelter-in-place order as of yet. Shelter-in-place is still in effect for campus, and the city, in a statement, said they were devastated by the events. And Orem city leaders said this type of violence should never happen anywhere, let alone in our community. This is in direct opposition to our values, which include family, unity, respect, and faith. And we are praying for Charlie and his family at this time. Orem officials again asking that people call 801-229-7070 to report anything suspicious as the search for the shooter continues. And the latest, of course, you can find at CashValleyDaily.com. We'll keep you posted during our news breaks as well throughout the evening here on KVNU if we learn more, or if we get news that a shooter has been apprehended. On the other side, our own Carter Chatterton was able to speak with some friends at Utah Valley University today, some that were actually caught up or maybe still are caught up in that shelter-in-place order as law enforcement escorts, as we understand it, students group by group from the campus at this point, with, again, no shooter in custody. And what they had to say about their experience today. Carter will be with us in just a bit here on KVNU's For the People.
Due to popular demand, Caravel Select has extended its Labor Day parking lot clearance sale. They still have many items to choose from as they clear space and pass the savings on to you. Over 100 pallets of luxury waterproof SPC flooring in 10 colors, priced to move, starting at just $275 a square foot. They've also got dozens of 2- and 4-door vanities with 2, 3, and 4 drawers priced to clear. And take a walk through their countertop stone gallery. Caravel Select's parking lot clearance sale on 14th North in Logan, west of DI. Online at caravelselect.com.
Prices have been reduced again during Anderson's Seed and Garden Cash and Carry sale. They've marked down all remaining trees, shrubs, evergreens, and perennials to 40% off. But if you pay with cash, you save an additional 10% off your purchase price during their annual Fall Cash and Carry sale. That's 50% off a wide selection of top-notch plants in stock. Get them now before they're gone, but hurry while the selection is the best. Anderson's Seed and Garden, 69 West Center, Logan. Grow something amazing. Cash in on beauty today.
My name is Rob Phelps, and I work with the hospice team at the Sunshine Terrace Foundation. When people ask what I do for a living, I tell them I work in hospice, helping individuals and their families navigate one of the most difficult and vulnerable times of life. This year, we thank you for recognizing Sunshine Hospice as your gold-winning hospice in the best of northern Utah. But the real rewards are helping your loved ones experience a more comfortable, peaceful, and dignified end-of-life journey. To learn more, visit sunshineterrace.org.
Thursday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Will break down the absolute latest, the ongoing fallout of the awful murder of Irina Zarutska in Charlotte. Also, the battle heats up for what's going to happen on Capitol Hill when it comes to all of Trump's nominees. All that and more, Thursday edition, Clay and Buck.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Carter Chatterton joining me here in the studio. Carter is a member of our news team who had a chance to talk with some friends he has at students at Utah Valley University about their experience today. Again, for those just tuning in and haven't heard the news, horrific tragedy today. Utah Valley University, Utah's largest university, conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, on a speaking tour of sorts, one that was going to eventually end up at Utah State University as well, was shot and killed today here in Utah on campus at Utah Valley University. Video showed a single shot and Kirk slumping to the side and out of his chair to the ground. It was a long time before we learned anything more, and there was a brief period where everyone sort of felt a shooter was in custody because a suspect had been arrested. Law enforcement has since confirmed that suspect was not the shooter, and there have been some reports that individual has been released by police. But shelter in place for campus, still not the city of Orem, but no suspect in custody, and the investigation continues. So this is still very much an active event, and of course, this Charlie Kirk being famous in political circles, this is getting national, even international attention at this point. Carter, you had a chance. You have some friends who are students at Utah Valley University. You had a chance to speak with them today. What was their experience like as this played out? Because no one knew anything at first.
No one knew a thing.
Sorry about the echo.
No worries. And information was really slow to come out. I had a few friends that were actually present at the event, and they mentioned there being between 2,000 and 3,000 people in attendance. And obviously, as soon as those shots rang out, everybody scattered. A huge crowd. Massive, a lot of confusion. Heidi Hatch's own son was there, and she was getting updates from him.
With John Curtis a bit about that today, saying she was getting texts from her son as she was waiting for Curtis to join them. And anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No worries at all.
It was just an unbelievable thing to watch play out.
Unbelievable, so quick, so unexpected. The friends that I spoke with that were actually there in attendance were able to get away quick. They're quite shaken. They're quite in surprise at everything what has gone on. But I have other friends that are students attending this university. At 1:30, the shelter-in-place order from UVU went out, encouraging students to shelter in their classrooms, wherever they are. And police are going classroom by classroom, group by group, escorting them out of campus. Those same friends around 1:30 mentioned to me that SWAT teams are present. They're there clearing campus, going floor by floor, classroom by classroom, hoping to apprehend this shooter that they thought they had in custody. As of an hour ago, UVU has actually sent out a phone number, both on Twitter, on all of their socials, and also through their emergency messaging service, so that any students that still find themselves on the campus can call this number and alert the police as to their location, and those police will come and escort them out.
Carter, sorry to interrupt here, but we just got word there is actually a press conference taking place in Orem right now, and we're going to go to that quickly.
A digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you. On behalf of President Tumenez, who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk. We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate, to shape ideas, and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Cook stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Is there any indication of foreign involvement?
Looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooter?
Do you want to talk about what we know there?
Yeah.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed-circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where do you think the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a third, potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak to that.
I'll just say that the investigation is ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise, and what happens on these kind of events?
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we are devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things. Unfortunately,
you're watching this live press conference from Orem, Utah. Normally, we were on the air with World News Tonight. We will join the broadcast in just a moment. I want to bring you up to speed on what we just learned. There is a person of interest now in custody. They are interviewing this person. It is not the same person that was taken into custody for a short period of time earlier in the day. That person has been cleared. Again, there is a person of interest in custody. They have no intelligence at this point to believe that there was anyone else involved as of yet. They believe that shot was fired from a building on campus, a separate location, a distance away from where Charlie Kirk was. Again, Charlie Kirk shot and killed on that Utah campus this afternoon. Our team is standing by. We'll have much more throughout the evening. And for those of you in the East, World News Tonight starts just moments from now.
You're just listening to David Muir there, who was summarizing what we've learned so far from authorities and leaders throughout the state.
Okay, welcome back. That, again, was a press conference breaking into Carter and I's conversation here just with the latest on the shooting of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University today. And, again, just a few more details out there, and that's the latest. I don't know what more to say. Devastating events. We'll keep you posted as we learn more throughout the evening. KVNU news breaks top and bottom of the hour, CashValleyDaily.com, and, of course, various social media channels. So that, again, wrapping up a press conference from Orem today with officials bringing you the latest on the shooting and death as a result of that shot. That first broke on social media, and hours later, now we have a lot more information, of course, but tragic event, and conservative commentator Charlie Kirk confirmed dead at the hospital this afternoon. So, again, keep your ears glued to KVNU and eyes to CashValleyDaily.com as we keep on top of this one throughout the evening. Right now, we will transition back to regularly scheduled programming. Take a quick news break here, and then joined in studio by candidate for county executive, as we're going to get to them all, I think. We're going to do it. Micah Safsten joining us right after this.
Well, thank you, Jason. As you've been talking about and as we've been reporting, it was President Donald Trump who announced the death of Charlie Kirk this afternoon on Truth Social about an hour after he had been shot while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. Now, Trump praised the 31-year-old Kirk as being great and even legendary, and went on to say, quote, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie," end of quote. Now, Natalie Hurray was at today's event at Utah Valley University and described what had taken place just as Kirk's event was getting started.
The crowd was so excited. Like, he really was in a place where everybody was so just happy to see him, and he just started out with saying, "I just want to know how much I love, like, the Mormons and the LDS, like, faith, and I'm so happy to be here." And
meanwhile, in other news that we're following this afternoon, multiple people have been infected with measles after being exposed at a Utah High School Cycling League race that was held in Soldier Hollow. Now, the Utah Department of Health and Human Services confirmed the exposure yesterday, stating that the race on August 16th had about 2,000 people in attendance. Now, Dr. Laisha Nolan, a state epidemiologist, had encouraged participants to check their MMR vaccination status. Now, the infections are the latest in a larger measles concern for the state. So far this year, 22 people have been diagnosed with measles in Utah, with the majority of cases in southern Utah. And a woman has been arrested after she allegedly set her home on fire in an attempt to kill her family. Eva Marie Baker Jensen, a 37-year-old, was taken into custody earlier this week on Monday. Now, according to an affidavit, a family member told police that Baker Jensen had threatened to kill her and tried to burn the house down. Now, an officer confirmed that clothing on the stove had been ignited. The affidavit stated that Baker Jensen allegedly fought with the police officer who was attempting to put her in handcuffs. She was booked into the Tooele County Jail on suspicion of misdemeanor charges, including reckless endangerment, arson, and interfering with a peace officer. Well, weather-wise, going to continue to enjoy a nice afternoon as temperatures have been in the mid-80s today, enjoying a lot of sunshine, and it looks like clouds are going to start coming into the valley later on tonight, bringing with it a chance of some scattered showers, thunderstorms after around 9 o'clock. Those clouds expected to bring more moisture possible for tomorrow. Now, only a 40% chance of rain tonight. That drops to 20% tomorrow, and we'll continue to see a slight chance of showers Friday and into the weekend as temperatures going to cool down into the high 70s. And weather brought to you by the Cache Valley Latino Festival coming up this weekend. Got a chance to join us at Logan's Center Street for live music, traditional dancing, and a festive atmosphere. It's the Cache Valley Latino Festival coming up on Saturday. It's brought to you by the Cache Valley Media Group, along with Members First Credit Union, Gosner's Foods, Presto Products, Connect Public Transit, and Anderson Seed and Garden and Logan Extermination. And I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News headlines.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Police in Utah say the suspect is not in custody yet following today's fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. It conflicts with an earlier post from FBI Director Kash Patel saying that a suspect has been taken into custody. The founder of the conservative group Turning Point USA was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University today.
The shooting happened before a crowd of hundreds on the campus of Utah Valley University, where Charlie Kirk was kicking off a fall tour of college campuses. Kirk's on-campus events would feature him engaging with members of the audience who often espoused views contrary to his. It was during a back-and-forth on mass shootings allegedly committed by transgender people that the shooting occurred. The bullet struck the 31-year-old near his throat. Kirk's security team quickly swept in and carried him away. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News.
President Trump ordered flags at half-staff through Sunday. Both Republicans and Democrats have denounced the killing and latest political violence. This is
For over a
ABC
decade,
News.
Roof Rescue has been safeguarding your homes with the finest roofing solutions. We understand the value of your time. That's why we're committed to replacing most roofs in just one day. With award-winning service, 100% guaranteed workmanship, and the best warranties in the industry, your watertight peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 435-999-4268 or visit roofrescueusa.com and ask for the $250 off any roof replacement. Financing available? That's roofrescueusa.com.
Bringing Wall Street to Main Street. From your local experts in downtown Logan, this is the Adams Wealth Advisors Market Report.
Good afternoon. This is Mitch Green with Adams Wealth Advisors. Stocks closed the day hitting new all-time highs as renewed enthusiasm fueled the market around the AI theme after Oracle reported higher than expected future expectations on AI-related earnings and soared 35.95%. At one point today, the stock was up nearly 42%, and the CEO, Larry Ellison, surpassed Elon Musk in wealth and became the richest person on the planet. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is the only major large-cap index that posted losses, down by 220 points to 45,491. The NASDAQ showed a lukewarm return of 0.04%, ending at 23,849, simply because Oracle is not part of that index. The S&P 500 advanced by 0.3% to 6,532. Sector performance showed the rally mainly came from the AI theme, as rallies concentrated on sectors that are more exposed to the AI supply chain, while others experienced moderate declines. The bond market rallied on the PPI number, which surprised to the downside. The U.S. 5-year Treasury yield saw a decline of nearly 1 basis point to 3.6%, and the 10-year yield dropped by nearly 3 basis points to 4.05%. Today's economic data provided the market with some relief. Both PPI and core PPI surprised to the downside, reflecting potential hesitancy of passing through costs to customers by wholesalers and retailers, demonstrated by the shrinking of wholesalers and retailers' margins. This is likely a result of weakening consumer demand. The extent to which companies pass the burden from tariffs onto consumers will be key in shaping the path for interest rates this year. Tomorrow, we will have a reading on CPI, the most important piece of data released before the September interest rate meeting by the Fed. Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about today's market trends and how they connect to your retirement, join us Thursday, September 18th at 12:30 p.m. at Adams Wealth Advisors in Logan. You can reserve your spot at www.adamswealthadvisors.com/event.
That's your update from Adams Wealth Advisors, guiding your financial future one day at a time. For personalized help planning yours, reach out to us at 435-752-1702. See you soon, Cache Valley. Advisory services offered through Adams Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For important disclosures and more information, visit adamswealthadvisors.com.
For the people. Very gracious candidate here in the studio with us. Understandably, with the news of the day, we spent a good chunk of the hour on this, but we did have this goal of getting to every candidate for Cache County Executive, and I want to stick to that. And so, candidate for Cache County Executive Micah Safsten is here in the studio with us, and Micah, appreciate you giving up some of your time so we can run that press conference there. I know people want to know the latest on this shooting at Utah Valley University, but it is a chance for you. Your purpose for being here is to say to delegates, hey, I'm running, and I'd like to be county executive. And my first question, of course, along those lines, in this day and age, knowing what it means to put yourself out there in the spotlight, the criticism you get, the delegates are picking you apart because that's their job, right? Why? What prompts it? No, I'm kidding. Honestly, hats off to everyone who files to run, because if no one does, we don't have any choices. And this, of course, will be a special election that will play out tomorrow night, but whoever wins this race will have the option at least to enter re-election campaign next spring as the front runner, the assumed front runner at that point,
Correct.
and run for a full term. And so it's no small thing. So thank you for filing to run. And seriously, though, what prompted you to do so?
Well, it's a great question, Jason. I actually think that today's news that we've been discussing before recording here actually has me thinking about that. It's hard to put yourself in the spotlight.
Sure.
And it wasn't that long ago that I was a conservative on a college campus. College campuses today are ideologically stifling places. They're extremely conformist, and it's difficult to be a conservative at times on a college campus. I studied political science. Technically, it was law and constitutional studies, but it's basically political science at Utah State.
Sure.
And it's hard to speak up. And when I was in school, Charlie Kirk was just sort of an up and comer. He's a little younger than I am, but I also kind of was a little older when I started college.
Sure.
And frankly, it was people like Charlie Kirk that showed me and other conservatives in this country that we can speak up. We can defend our ideas when we're in these types of situations where we're such a minority.
Sure, typically surrounded by more of a left-leaning crowd on campus.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. And not just that, just that we can speak up and be the minority, but that actually is good for us, that it's good to be in sort of, our iron sharpens iron. And we put ourselves in that position to speak up. And I learned at that time in my life that maybe I can't do great deeds. Maybe I can't take heroic steps to make this world a better place. But I can, with my words, maybe change some hearts and minds. And when I graduated, when I started my career in public service, I tried not to lose sight of that. And when I chose to run for executive, part of it was because I believe in certain things. I believe that county government is best in the background of things. I've been telling delegates, these last few weeks, that I think that the 2 times that you should be interacting, maybe I could think of 3 times that you should be really interacting with county government are when you're at the county fair, when you're voting, or if you're in jail.
And hopefully that doesn't come up, right?
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't.
That's more of a state legislature thing.
But I want to keep county government in the background of things. In the last few years here in Cache County, we've been reading about county government, I think, more than we ought to be. And I just want to bring a steady hand to the county government to keep things in the background, to keep them running well.
Do you think it hinders, one of the themes with each candidate we've spoken to is there's just so much going on right now, facing, pressure and challenges on the county as we grow, as we change roads, water, schools, all this stuff. Does this hinder, if not progress, productivity? What you're talking about, the government being in the headlines too often,
yes,
in ways like that. How do you right that ship?
Good question.
Is there a magic wand?
I don't know about a magic wand, but I do think that it's a ship that is ready to be righted, if that's a word. I think that you're kind of getting to what I'm hearing. 2 things that you might be getting to. Is the dysfunction affecting the county's ability to provide services?
Sure.
In a limited sense, yes, I think it is. I don't think that it's widespread. I think that we still have a government that provides excellent services to the people.
Sure.
But what I'm actually more concerned about is the effect it has just on taxpayers, on not on the services they provide. Because again, most of the services are kind of in the background of things. But how it affects the county budget, how it affects the property tax rate. The county budget has essentially doubled in the last 6 years. 6 years ago.
Rapid growth.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's a single business in that. Well, there might be one or two, but I don't think most businesses in this county have doubled in that time. I don't think most citizens of this county have had their salaries double. Home prices have gone up.
Hasn't.
Yeah, right. Home prices have gone up quite a bit.
Sure.
I'm not sure if they've doubled. So these are. It's difficult to say exactly why. We've seen so much growth in county government, but I would absolutely suggest that part of it is because we've had a legislative and executive branch that just aren't communicating. They're not deliberating over the budget. The budget is just kind of being presented at the end of the year as kind of a finished product with an expectation that the council just sort of approves it and we go on our merry way.
Sure. And that kind of is what happened, right? A lot of years.
It is. It is. I've made the commitment to present a budget in July of every year. And I think this is important because when you let's look at the state legislature. The state's fiscal year starts on July 1st. The governor presents a budget at the beginning of January, a full 6 months before that budget actually goes into effect. Now, it's true, the legislature spends only 45 days running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to finalize that budget. But even then, when it's finalized, they still have 4 months to amend it. And they amend it all the time. Yeah. And in fact, they amend it often.
Sure.
And so they're giving themselves all of this time to make these decisions. And I have and will continue to be, I think, critical of the Utah legislature in some circumstances. It's really hard to be a critic of how our state manages taxpayer money. And so I really want to model that. I want to bring a budget early and to have this discussion, these decisions to be made in public.
Sure. That transparency, I'm so excited that's coming up a lot during the campaigns. Everyone is talking about it, and I love that because that's so key to us understanding how all of this works. Mike, I'm sorry we cut you short on this. I'm glad you were able to come in still, though, and be a part of this. And let me throw this out for listeners because this is coming up. If you're a delegate, you have an obligation to vote. So find my